Hello, class. Well, today we are going to start your journey on designing. To 3D print or make anything on the laser, first we have to have something we got to make. And at the start of the year, I told you that we were going to be working on 2D and 3D objects. Now, a 2D object, two dimensional or two direction, is kind of like on the screen here. This is just a basic silhouette of a house shape, and we could make this on a machine that just makes things in two dimensions, like the laser. Now, if we want to make something on the 3D printer, we have to add a third dimension, right? We have to add depth, thickness to the part, and that's when we turn it this way. We can see that the part has depth. It has a big pocket in it, right? So on this kind of we would not be able to make this on the laser because it has depth. It has more than just the two directions that the laser can build on. But could we still make this with a laser? We could, by taking several different two-dimensional objects, right? We could cut all these different objects two-dimensional, and then we could piece cut those pieces, and we could fit them all together and assemble them to create a three-dimensional object. And this software allows us to do that, where we could make all the two-dimensional objects. We could then attach those objects together to make sure that they fit exactly the way that we want them to fit together. So we can use what's called mates, and this would be an assembly process that you guys will be learning in a couple weeks. So now we can take these pieces, we can fit them together to make a 3D object that we can then construct to make sure that our 3D image or our 3D model would work. Now, how do we make 3D objects or make the physical item? There's three different ways we do that. One, you just have the idea, right? This idea for this little house here, I just pulled it out of my head, right? There was no basis for it. It was just something that I put together real quick. Another way we can do that is that we can take an object that's already made. Let's say that we had one of these little houses that we had bought somewhere or had come in some kind of package, and we wanted to make a bunch of them. Well, then we could take different measuring devices and measure the different dimensions of the part, and we could make that image. We could take it and make a digital image of a physical part, right? And the third way we could do it is if someone had given us a blueprint, and we took those dimensions that are on that blueprint and we created the model from that print. Now, each of these ways, you'll be learning each one of those ways this year, and we will then work through each way, and then you will be able to design your own objects and either 3D print them or make them on the laser or whatever we're going to use. Now, when we make things, there's always three basic things that we ask. There's three questions that we always ask. And we will go over these over and over and over so that they get put into memory, that you never forget. Because no matter what you're making, whether it's an airplane or this simple house, we always follow the same technique. And that is to make the object and then we remove what we don't need. And so when we make something, we ask three questions. What is it? Right? What is the shape that we're trying to make? Let's say that we're making a window. A window is usually a square or a rectangle. So we can say the what is it is a square. Okay? And here's our square. Basic. Okay? How big is it? That's the second question you ask. Well, let's just say that this one is 1.5 by 1.5. Okay. So now we have the what is it and the how big is it. And the third question we ask is where is it? Okay. And why is this important? This window, if we had it up here, what good is that going to do us? Not very much good if we want to make this realistic, right? If we want to use something. So the where is it? We give it distance. We say that maybe it's a half an inch from there, and we say it's 2.5 inches from there. Now we've found the where is it. It's this far from this direction and this far from this direction. So we always ask those same questions. What is it? How big is it? And where is it? And we can do this with circles, right? We can use circles. What is it? Is it a circle? How big is it? We can give it the size that it needs to be. And where is it? Now we can measure from different directions and give it the exact distance that we want it from other locations on the part. So, what is it? How big is it? And where is it? And then we just put those shapes in. We cut them in, right? And now you can see that we can see those shapes cut into our house. So, what are we going to do? In the next video, I'm going to show you, I'm going to get you started on your road to start making three-dimensional objects, two-dimensional and three-dimensional objects. We are going to be working on that over the next couple weeks.